Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Johns Hopkins School of Education Special Education Virtual Webinar. My name is Tanya McMillan. I am an admissions coordinator here at the Johns Hopkins School of Education. I also have my colleague from the Office of Admissions here with me today, and she will introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sion John, Assistant Director of Admissions here at the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Welcome.
We also have faculty lead Dr. Tamara Martyr and Assistant Professor Dr. Alexandra Shelton joining us today, as well as Chelsea Haslap, an alumnus of the Special Education Program. Before we begin, I would like to cover a few housekeeping topics. First, today's webinar is being recorded. We will be able to share a link with you after the event is complete. Also, please take a moment right now to ensure that your microphone is on mute and your video camera is off. Please always have your microphone muted and video off during today's presentation. There will also be a question and answer session at the end. Please type your questions in the chat box and we will read and answer your questions. I would like to share the agenda for today's virtual webinar. We will start the presentation sharing an overview of the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Then Dr. Martyr and Dr. Shelton will go over the details of the special education programs. And Ms. Haslap will share her experience as a School of Education alumni. Lastly, we will cover admissions requirements, go over financial aid and scholarship, and finally leave the floor open for questions at the end. So here you'll see a quick facts about the Johns Hopkins School of Education. We are one of 9 schools at the Johns Hopkins University. We began offering college courses for teachers in 1909 and then became our own school in 2007. We are proud to share that Johns Hopkins School of Education is consistently ranked one of the top schools in education by the U.S. News and World Report. Here on this slide, you'll see some facts about our school. For enrollment, we have approximately 2,364 students and offer 27 graduate programs, which includes doctoral, master's, and graduate certificate programs. We also have a strong network of over 23,000 SOE alums. Here we have our special education faculty, Dr. Rebecca Cruz, Dr. Tamara Martyr, and Dr. Alexandra Shelton. Dr. Alexandra Shelton joined JHU in 2021. Her research focuses on improving literacy outcomes for secondary students with mild disabilities, including mild intellectual disability and learning disabilities, by intensive intervention and teacher professional development and coaching. Dr. Shelton was also previously a high school special education teacher in Baltimore City Public Schools, where she serves students with and without disabilities in English language arts, reading, math, and science. Dr. Tamara Martyr joined Johns Hopkins in 2010. Her research includes improving learning outcomes for students with developmental disabilities and autism through effective training and preparation of educators and professionals who provide educational services. This includes training educators on implementing evidence-based practices with fidelity and preparing special educators in the field of applied behavior analysis. At this time, I'll hand the floor over to Dr. Martyr and Dr. Shelton. Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. If we can move on to the next slide. Thank you. So before we get started, I just wanted to talk about the critical need that we have right now for special educators. So we're really excited that you're here to learn more about our programs. Before the pandemic began, we already were seeing a shortage in our field. And since the pandemic, we've seen that shortage obviously continue. So now is really a great time to be entering into our field because we are in need of great, well-trained teachers in special education. At Johns Hopkins, we know that we need more special educators, and our focus is making sure that candidates are committed to the field are well trained, and that is the ultimate goal of our program. So not only are we interested in increasing the numbers because we know that there's this shortage, but also we are really invested in increasing the numbers to contribute positively to our field by increasing the numbers of not only special educators, but well-trained special educators. So we're really excited to have you here today because this is a really important time within the field. So there are 3 pathways to special education programs, 3 pathways to gaining expertise in special education at Johns Hopkins. We have our mild to moderate disabilities program. We also have our mild to moderate disabilities program allows folks to become certified in special education. We also have our severe disabilities and autism focus program, which is really focused on obviously teaching special educators within the field of autism, but folks who enter into this program typically are already certified but are looking for additional expertise within special education. And then our third area is a focus on applied behavior analysis. Today, we're going to be focusing mostly on the mild to moderate disabilities program as well as our autism programs. If you are interested in the ABA program, we will be having a webinar in May, so please check back in on that invite. So before we get into the details of the autism program and the mild to moderate program, I want to talk a little bit about how our courses are offered. First of all of our pathways are what we follow a cohort model. So that means that all of our students come into the program at the same time, either the summer or the fall semester, and you complete the entire program, all the courses, with the same group of people. This is a real benefit because it allows us to learn from each other about the different places where we work and the different experiences that we have, but it also provides a group or a network of professionals once you graduate from the program. So the cohort model is a really nice way of looking at that journey within graduate school. The way our courses are offered, they're all offered in the evening, and this is really, this allows us to be set up to provide excellent graduate training for the working professional. So courses are offered in the evenings. They are mostly provided in person at our centrally located campus. This is our Applied Physics Lab, which is located in Laurel, Maryland. Within each of our focus areas, there are a few classes that are offered online asynchronously, and all of our programs can be completed in about 2 to 3 years. And this means that folks are enrolling in coursework part-time, working full-time. The majority of the students are working full-time. And so if you complete 2 courses per semester across the fall, spring, and summer sessions, then you're able to complete the program in about 2 years. So the slide that you see in front of you is what we call our milestones to graduation. So in order to meet our outcomes of graduating special educators who are well trained within the field, there are specific milestones that all of our candidates complete. The first 2 milestones are the praxis assessments in special education and reading, which are required for any student or graduate who is seeking state certification. We also have a comprehensive exam, which is completed after the first year of the program and provides the opportunity to measure outcomes and knowledge within the program. And if you can go back to the previous slide on the milestones. Our last milestone is a culmination project. And this culmination project is a performance-based assessment that meets the state certification requirements to become a licensed teacher. So anybody who is completing the program to seek that state certification would be completing the culmination project. All other students who are not necessarily looking for MSD certification would complete a graduate project. So along with our coursework and these 5 milestones, that is what's required in order to complete a master's degree in special ed at Johns Hopkins University. Okay, we're ready for the next slide. So I want to talk a little bit more about the autism program, and then I'm going to turn things over to Dr. Shelton, who's going to talk to you about the mild to moderate program. So within our autism program, the focus is to gain expertise in specialized instruction to meet educational needs of students identified with autism in K through 12 settings. So we really are focusing on those evidence-based practices and strategies within the classroom to help support students with autism. The coursework includes 12 courses, which is 36 credits. 6 of those courses are in person at that applied physics lab that I mentioned earlier. The other 6 courses are offered online asynchronously. And we also have one applied internship. So the applied internship provides the opportunity for students to practice all the skills that they've learned through their coursework in a classroom setting. And they are provided with supervision through a university supervisor who provides feedback and supervision on their practices. This program can be completed in 2 years. So the next slide provides an overview. These are all the different courses. So you can see the courses with an asterisk are the ones that are totally fully online asynchronous courses. And so you can see we start out with the legal aspects course and survey courses with general understanding of special education and autism. And then we delve into specific strategies within each course where we look at how do we address interfering behaviors in the classroom, how do we address communication skills and social skills, and then how do we provide for instructional planning for lots of different situations. So from inclusive practices to maybe a self-contained classroom for students with autism. Okay, next slide is our graduate certificate in autism. So individuals who may not be searching out for a full master's degree with an emphasis in autism could look at our graduate certificate in autism. And this program really hones in on those specific autism classes. So there are 6 courses and it's 18 credits. All of these courses are offered fully online, asynchronously. And it's designed for lots of different folks. So we've had parents come through our program, certified educators, educational support personnel, any interested members of the community who want to know practical knowledge for supporting students with autism. So this graduate certificate really addresses a wide range of competencies that would be necessary for effective educational programming for students with autism to meet the needs of students with autism, excuse me. So our next slide, I'm going to hand things over to Dr. Shelton, who's going to talk with you about the mild to moderate program.
All right, thank you. And hi, everyone. So the mild to moderate disabilities focus is designed for candidates who plan to serve students with mild to moderate disabilities. So that can be emotional or behavioral disabilities, learning disabilities. And so the focus of the MMD pathway is on gaining expertise and applying specialized techniques within a wide range of educational settings. Our program is approved by the Maryland State Department of Education for initial certification in generic special education with an emphasis in mild to moderate disabilities. And this certification has 2 tracks, so to speak. So there's the elementary middle track, and then there's the secondary adult track. Elementary middle focuses on grades 1 through 8, and secondary adult focuses on grades 6 through 12. So there's the middle school grades overlap between these 2 tracks. So that being said, there is an opportunity to earn your degree in special education with us without seeking certification, but most of our candidates do seek certification. We have specific methods courses in math and spoken and written language, transition. We have 2 behavior classes. And so there are a total of 13 courses. Some of these classes are consistently in person, while others are consistently online, and we're considering making changes to increase the feasibility of or the flexibility of the program. And 2 of these courses are student teaching internship courses as well. And so the program is typically completed in 2 years. So, like I said, our program consists of 13 courses, and most of our classes are taken by all candidates. However, there are some classes that are track specific, so specific to elementary, middle, or specific to secondary adult. So here on this slide, we see spoken and written language, which is specific to the elementary middle track, but secondary adult has, for example, career assessment and programming as one of the courses for that track. And additionally, like I said, there are 2 classroom or behavior management courses and 2 internships for students who are seeking certification. Next slide, I think. So now I wanted to share a bit about the Special Education Teacher Immersion Training or Program, or CETIT. This program is a partnership with Montgomery County Public Schools. It's open to MCPS employees. And so as part of this program, cohort members complete the courses in 2 years to earn their master's in special education with a focus on mild to moderate disabilities. The course of study is delivered in a prescribed series of courses. Students complete the courses with the rest of the MCPS cohort. And again, completion of this program allows for certification in generic special education, either for elementary middle, so grades 1 through 8, or secondary adult, so grades 6 through 12. This means that CETIT cohort members should have job placements in MCPS that align with the appropriate grades. So if you're considering the elementary middle track, then that would mean as an MCPS employee that your job placement should allow you to work with students in grades 1 through 8. So that doesn't include pre-K, that doesn't include kindergarten. Additionally, another benefit of the CETIT program is that CETIT allows teachers or our students to complete their 2 internships in their classroom. And so most of our students that are a part of the CETIT cohort or the CETIT program are paraeducators, so they can they complete these job embedded internships as part of the program. And then as an MCPS employee, students still have access to their salary and their benefits, and they also have access to partial tuition support. One thing to keep in mind is that CETIT is for official employees of MCPS, but not substitute teachers, and that includes long-term subs as well. So if anyone is interested in learning more about CETIT, feel free to email me. My email address is on the bottom of this slide, ashelt18@jhu.edu.
Thank you, Dr. Shelton. I am really excited to introduce you all to Chelsea. Chelsea Haslap graduated from our program in 2021. And you can see her bio on the slide in front of you. And so Chelsea is here today to share with you a little bit about her experiences as a student here at the School of Education at Johns Hopkins. So I'm going to turn things over to Chelsea for her to share. And then Chelsea will also be joining us at the end. So if you have any questions, please feel free to share them in the chat, and Chelsea can help answer some of those questions from a student perspective. So Chelsea, I'll hand it over to you.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you guys and share my experience. While attending Johns Hopkins, I learned so much. While getting my degree, I was also working at the Ivy Mount School in Montgomery County, Maryland, in a special education classroom. It was really helpful to be working while I was getting my degree, in the sense that everything that I was learning at the school, I was immediately applying in real time to the benefit of the students that I work with. It helped with not just like writing IEP goals or learning some more of the technical pieces and learning some of the why behind some of the more mundane or not as fun things that we do as special education teachers with some of those paperwork pieces. But it also helped, well, with giving me the why, it helped me realize the importance of those little minute details, but also helped me gather some really important resources that I continue to utilize even post-graduation. It wasn't just for the classroom. Some of them were the books that that were required for some of the courses. Two that come to mind immediately are one's writing measurable IEP goals and objectives, and the other one is ABA for teachers. I think those are two that I regularly check in with to get some ideas and inspiration from time to time. I also was able to gain digital resources with for Maryland, particularly Common Core standards. There were some websites that were provided through some of the coursework that I took that help you design IEP goals and programming that support Common Core standards for the different students that you're working with, which is super helpful. It really helped me improve not only my teaching, but also my interactions with fellow colleagues and other collaborators that I work with on a regular basis. And I think, like Dr. Martyr mentioned with the cohort model, that was really helpful, is working, again, the school that I work at, it's a non-public school. And I work in a self-contained autism classroom. So it was really nice to have discussions and working with fellow teachers that are in different environments. And this is not just talking about other teachers or professionals that were working in like public school classrooms, but also from different areas. So like there was one student that was from China in my cohort that we had a lot of conversations with, and got to see a different cultural viewpoint with our work that we did together. And there was also educators that were from different states, which was super helpful, just as far as providing different experience, different perspective, and also providing their experience to different things that they've had to come in contact with the different projects and assignments that we worked on. I really feel like a lot of the connections that I made with some of the people that were in the cohort with me were also like super beneficial with helping me support my students the best. And I mean, we're all not necessarily in here for the big bucks. We're here because we love working with these students and working in education. So it was really nice to be in a community of like-minded individuals. As far as my teachers that I worked with, they were all super approachable. Like, I can't stress that enough. None of the coursework was necessarily easy or a cakewalk. I really found that the more work that I put into whatever assignments and projects that I had, the more that I got out of it. And that was wonderful. But anytime that there was like an issue or question, all of the teachers that I worked with had multiple ways of getting in contact with them, whether it be send them a text message or give them a phone call or email them. They were all like super quick with getting back to me with any questions or feedback for me. And they were all like super supportive. None of them, they're holding you to a high standard to make sure that you're getting that quality education that you're supposed to be getting out of this program, right? But they're all doing it in a way that is supportive and not to be condescending in any way, or it was never a negative experience, even with corrective feedback that I received from anybody, which was very refreshing. Another interesting bit about during my time in the program was that it was like right during the beginning of the pandemic. So it was very stressful at the time to also be teaching in a new way, and then also to be learning in this new format that was kind of unexpected. But I do have to give a lot of props and credit to the staff at Johns Hopkins. They did such a lovely job of making sure that our learning was as fluid as possible. And also all of the teachers were super supportive and understanding. And I think that, again, that just plays to the quality of education that you're getting within the program. Again, everything that I learned in this program, it was immediately applicable. nothing that I was doing ever felt like a silly errand or unnecessary work. It was all stuff that was immediately able to be applied in my classroom, and I think has hugely benefited all of the students that I work with. Whether it be like being in a classroom with students in a reduced ratio where the students may have 1 or 2 staff working with them at a time, or being in a more inclusive setting in which there are students that I'm teaching where it's like 8 students or more that I'm working with at a time, providing instruction to. Everything that I learned through the program was very helpful in developing lesson plans and supporting those students, especially with varying levels of special needs. So my time here was much appreciated, and I really enjoyed the program. So again, I'll be here at the end. So if you guys have any further questions or specific questions about anything related to the student perspective, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. It's always wonderful to hear your perspective about the program and your experiences, and I'm glad you'll be able to stick around for our Q&A session. The last slide that I want to talk to you all about is a question that I sometimes get from applicants is, who's your ideal candidate? Who should be applying to this program? So for students who are interested in the mild to moderate disabilities focus, is really designed for students who are seeking that initial certification in special education through a state-approved program. And students who are, or applicants who are interested in the autism program, are really looking to gain that expertise and acquiring skills to support students with autism. So, you know, thinking about what your professional goals are and how they link in with these two programs should help guide you into which program I should be considering. An ideal candidate for this program has the ability to commit to 2 to 3 years of intensive coursework. So really being able to say, yes, I can spend the next 2 years focusing in on graduate school. Obviously, it is a balance between working full-time and going to school part-time. Obviously, demonstrating all of the admission requirements, meeting all of the requirements that are going to be laid out for you in a few minutes, and then obviously willing to work and study hard. So going to graduate school is obviously a commitment to the time that you will be spending studying and preparing for your coursework. All right, so I think I'm turning things over to the admissions office now, who's going to talk to you about all of the application requirements. And I look forward to catching up with all of you in a few minutes in the question and answer session.
All right, thank you, Dr. Marder. So now we're going to continue by going over the application requirements. First, a 3.0 or better cumulative undergraduate grade point average. Applicants must submit a completed application, which can be found on the school's website. The application fee is $80. Official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions you attended. Again, we need all official transcripts, including institutions you may have taken courses but did not receive a degree. An essay and a current resume. 2 letters of recommendation from individuals who can speak to your work in the field of special education. And for the mild to moderate program, testing scores are required if your GPA is less than a 3.0. Please visit the Maryland Department of Education for a listing of tests that are accepted. And lastly, an interview. Applicants who meet admission requirements will be asked to interview to ensure that their goals align with the program goals before an offer of admission. And for international students, please submit a passing IELTS score or TOEFL score, TOEFL waiver request form. And if your degree was completed outside of the US, please keep in mind that you will need to complete a course-by-course evaluation. Additional information can be found on the school's website. And the tuition for the 2022-2023 academic school year is $918 per credit for face-to-face courses and $972 plus a $20 per credit technology fee for online courses. In addition, the registration fee is $175 per semester, and there's an application fee of $80 when you submit your application. And for additional information on tuition and fees, please visit the SOE website. And if you're interested in applying for financial aid, we strongly encourage you to apply for financial aid when you start your application. The School of Education offers a limited number of partial need-based institutional scholarships each year, and these awards range on average from $500 to $1,500 per semester and are applied to tuition expenses beginning in the fall semester. Please keep in mind to apply for the SOE Endowed Scholarship, students must complete the FAFSA form. To learn if you qualify for the Endowed Scholarship or have any questions regarding financial aid, please visit the SOE's website. And at this time, we would like to open up the floor for questions.
So, and this is Dr. Martyr. As people are gathering their questions and gathering their thoughts in the chat, I was thinking of a question that maybe Chelsea could help us with. And the question is for Chelsea, if you could share sort of what your study schedule was like, you know, maybe how many hours per week you spent studying during the week, on the weekends, sort of what was the requirements when you were taking 2 classes per semester for studying and class preparation?
Sure. So I had classes in the evening because, again, this was during the switching to the pandemic. So most of I think all of my classes were online. So twice a week I was meeting virtually for up to 3 hours with for an online class. So that would be like a Monday and a Wednesday. And then when I wasn't in class, I would probably be studying at least an hour. If it was like a rough day at work and I needed to give my brain a break, but I try to get 2 hours in at least 3 times during the week. And then during the weekends is when I would do a lot more of my intensive studying with reading some of the journal articles or doing the book reading on the weekends. It was just a little easier that way. And then to work on the paper sometimes. I know personally it was sometimes when you're working on an IEP, for example, and then you have to come home and write a paper, it's not the ideal. So I always tried to make sure that when I was planning my schedule, I was also looking at work-wise, what responsibilities I had, and then plugging in my academic work to help support that. So I could get a little head start on some of the papers and projects that I had to work on. And then also for any group projects, trying to meet with whoever I was working with ahead of time was always hugely helpful to give ourselves a little bit of a cushion in case other things came up that were work related that also needed to be as equally important at the time. So again, probably about like at least 1 to 3 hours 3 times a week during the week. And then for me personally, it was easier to do longer study sessions with breaks in between, obviously, over the weekends on Saturday and Sunday.
Thanks, Chelsea. That's really helpful to hear how you laid it all out.
Thank you, Chelsea and Dr. Martyr. We do get that question a lot too here in the Office of Admissions. And while we're waiting for questions, some frequently asked questions, especially for the mild to moderate program, where are classes offered?
So most of our in-person classes are offered in Laurel, the Applied Physics Lab. And that is because it's a good, I guess, midpoint between Montgomery County, where lots of our students live and work, as well as students in Baltimore City. And we do have some classes online as well.
Thank you, Dr. Shelton. We just received a question. The question is for the grad cert in autism, is this program a fully online program?
Yep, the grad certificate in autism is fully online and it's asynchronously offered. So that means that sessions are set up across 1 to 2 weeks. Students have specific tasks, readings, PowerPoint videos to review, engage in discussion board assignments, as well as other assignments, quizzes, and exams. But it's all held within a with our learning management system, which has each of the courses split up across those weeks. So every student works on it independently with certain tasks to be completed each week. And then we also have synchronous meetings with the faculty along with throughout the semester as a touching base point. So yes, short answer, all the courses are offered online.
So we have a question from Emma. I know the mild to moderate disabilities elementary program is focused on grades 1 through 6 grade levels, but could it also be applicable, helpful for educators interested in pre-K kindergarten grade levels? Thank you.
So it could be helpful for educators interested in pre-K or kindergarten. We do have some students who are currently working in preschool or kindergarten classrooms. It gets complicated when it comes to the internship because certification is focused on grades 1 through 6. Internship placements have to be in classrooms that include students in grades 1 through 6. Occasionally, students have completed internships over the summer if they're working in pre-K and kindergarten during the school year. But we really encourage fall and spring internships because that gives students a good amount of time the entire semester to get that full internship experience. And Dr. Marder, I don't know if you want to add on to that.
I think you covered it, Dr. Shelton. I think that is an important point with the internship because it is students in the mild to moderate program are seeking that certification. We have to really ensure that individuals have access to the classrooms and the practices and the age level in which they're getting certified.
Thank you, Dr. Shelton and Dr. Marder. The next question we have from Camila is, when reading letters of recommendation, how closely do you look at previous work experiences, especially in special education, as opposed to previous degrees or work in traditional education? Are applicants who would like to enter the special education field encouraged to have more work experience with special education before applying to the JHU, the School of Education program?
That is an excellent question. And I think it's definitely the first time we've gotten that question. So thank you, Camilla, for putting it out there. I think that, when we are reviewing applications, we're looking at a broad range of, or a broad range of experiences. We're not looking for folks who've only had experiences in special ed. We are really looking, when we're looking at it, is how those experiences have led the individual to applying to a master's in special ed and why. So really what has brought you to the steps that you are, why you're applying right now. So those experiences really have an impact on your professional development and the development of your current professional goals. So we look at all of those different experiences. So it's not that we're looking for one type of experience if you're applying. We're really looking for folks who are committed to the field. I'm looking back at your question because I want to make sure I hit everything. Let me just see. Okay, so I think I hit it, but if you do have any more questions, Camilla, please do add them into the chat. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you, Dr. Martyr. The next question we have is relating to the Master of Science in Special Education, Severe Disabilities with an emphasis in autism. Does this program lead to certification? In addition, how many internships are scheduled and where do I do my internships?
Okay, another great question. Thank you. So first, the autism focused master's does not lead to certification. So if you are not yet certified in special education, we highly recommend that you check out our certification program. That's the one that's the focus on mild to moderate disabilities. If you are already certified, then the master's in autism is definitely the right place for you to be looking. We do have one applied internship, and that really is for you to get that supervised experience and practice with the skills that you're learning in your coursework. Additionally, with all of our internships, our goal really is for all of our students to be able to complete their internships and their place of employment. But we also have to balance that with making sure that the place where you are working or where you're employed or the classroom that you're working in aligns with the program and what you're learning. So just like we were just saying previously, I think the question was for Dr. Shelton about the mild to moderate and what grade levels, for internships and so forth, where it sort of gets a little hairy to make sure that you're having that experience for certification. The same thing goes for internship and in the autism program. So if you are not serving students with severe disabilities or autism, it's going to be more difficult for you to practice the skills and strategies that you've learned through your coursework. And so we want to be able to make sure that you can practice those skills in an appropriate internship placement. So it really is a balance between those two. And we are here to help you and to ensure that your experience is going to be the ultimate experience that really aligns with the graduate program that you are enrolled in.
All right, it looks like there are no more questions. Here on the slide, I would like to share with you some important contact information. For any admissions related questions, please reach out to Tanya McMillan. Her email address and phone number is on this slide. Also, from any program related questions, please reach out to Camila Mika Sims, and her email address is on this slide. Thank you again for your interest in the Johns Hopkins School of Education. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.